Welcome everybody back to B Tech Philosophers. I want to say episode 46. Don't really matter.
45, I think.
45. Okay. This week we have a special guest on the podcast. Up and coming Zimbabwean
goat
comedian.
It's a humble start. Up and coming. Yeah, this guy's new on the scene. He's doing well. I'm the greatest of all time. I am the greatest there has
I am
ever
the
been.
Alvarez of comedy.
I'll give him that. The best Zimbabwean comedian in the country right now is Tadiwa Mahlunge. How you doing, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man.
This is a lovely clink clink.
And
This is a beautiful. It's the first time that the two greatest black comedians of our
Oh,
generation.
thank you, man. Cheers.
The three greatest black comedians of our generation are on film at the same time. This is a beautiful moment.
We usually do this at Vauxhall, but they're on holiday at the moment, which is totally fair enough. I keep saying that and then feel bad, right? But they are.
how dare they?
How dare they take time off at Christmas to see their families and not
Disgusting.
and not put our podcast.
Don't you miss when Mooch was on coke? Started being a dad and shit.
Just straight like what?
All right. Looks like we're going to be filming a lot more here. Looks like we're going to be in London studios a lot more.
We'll invoice you, bro.
The lawsuits are gonna come.
It's a pricey studio, but God bless you.
Do you know what's great is that having a lawyer mum allows me a leeway to just chat insane shit at all times.
Is your mum a lawyer?
Yeah, she's well, she's not a great lawyer, but she's okay. She was great. She was great when she was young, and then she moved to this country, and then like she had to.
So she was doing like Zimbabwean law.
Yeah, well, that's what.
She
was doing Zimbabwe law. It was very different.
I'm winning all the cases. Straight choo-choo. Like,
the way you said that, you gave it no legitimacy.
Yeah, I didn't want
You
to
said that
sound
like the UN. Like.
I don't want to sound ignorant, but I reckon there's a few more things that. I reckon with British law,
Zimbabwean law.
gets a bit more, like Zimbabwe.
Isn't that just
Whatever we feel that day, really, is
whatever Mugabe feels?
And he's been dead for 10 years.
Who's guilty? The white farmer.
Zimbabwean law is like Medina in 1730. I'm at the 1300s, but I'm fucking very tired.
As if that time reference would have made
no, yeah, you fucking idiot.
I fumbled the ball there. Sorry about that.
No, man, but that's
so she came. Your mum. Sorry,
Yeah.
Your mum came to this country.
Yeah,
For what reason?
she was one of the founding members of the MDC, and so she was subject to political violence.
What's the MDC?
It's like the Labour Party of Zimbabwe.
Oh shit! So it was just, I'm guessing, all Mugabe, whatever.
All Mugabe, straight up, nothing but net. Kind of like the Golden State Warriors for that little stretch they had, and
Oh shit! Yeah.
yeah, and eventually, she felt for her safety, she had to come here, and then like
Took you with her?
after a couple of years, yeah, she came on her own first,
For some fun.
for some fun, get a bit of dick. What is this British? I didn't know what it's about.
I need political asylum. Oh, yeah.
Some wet ass political asylum.
and then it's fucked. The fastest way to retrain as a lawyer is to do immigration law, which happens to be one of the least paying ones. So it's fucked up. It's also very discriminatory because it's the type of law with the most women and minorities. So like the most black and Muslim women in it, and so it's also the only type of law where you have to retrain so often and you have to retake exams. So it's like they target that group of people.
I would imagine though that you would need to be a lawyer who knows kind of a few languages.
Yeah, but she knows one. She knows two.
So it's just plain racism.
Well, she knows three: English, Shona, and violence. Those are the three languages of an African mother.
I had when I was about 6 years old, we had a Zimbabwean guy come live with us, Manu.
Oh,
because he was seeking refuge here, and my parents are like mad socialists and like part of the international socialist community and stuff.
Shit.
So like he it was insane. Like my dad used to just let him when I was 5 years old read me bedtime stories. And they were like, it was genuinely, and it was like, and then the farmers murdered everything, all got murdered, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, what was hilarious is He brought a book of like African stories,
Yeah.
child stories. And me and my dad would die laughing reading them, like
Yeah.
because everyone ends with, and then the snake died, and the 3 little pigs got butchered.
Yeah.
and like every story ended with everyone dying.
You can tell how good a country is by how dark the childhood stories are. Because in
Well, I
Britain,
hear-
you could actually have a happily ever after, but in this country, you got come on, man. Let's be honest with these fucking kids. Let's not have them break their heart to the age of 12 when
It's
they.
just a delicious meal at the end of every story.
Yeah.
But that's also, I suppose, like Brothers Grimm, like the Germanic stories, where like they were also brutal. Like
Yeah,
those
because
fairy
this is
tales.
German, innit? This is
Yeah,
just
they-
German.
Every bit of their literature comes like just fucking insane.
No, but some of it, like, because like you'd read a story and it'd be like, oh, then they boiled the wolf alive in a hot cauldron. It's like that's the story that made it through to us, which
Yeah.
is like pretty horrific. But yeah.
Good point.
Kind of just reinforced what.
Fair enough.
Just add it on.
The first time a black man is stealing a white man's idea.
But your mum came here for dick, so let's
Yeah.
talk about that. So,
Hey, come on now. Hey, that's my mother. Why I oughta. Anyway, so,
no, but respectfully, she does sound like a bad bitch, man.
yeah, she's. No, my mother is a baller.
Respectfully, she's a bad bitch.
Well, in respectfully, how do you think I look this pretty? My mum's not unattractive.
No,
I'm
not,
fucking a good
I'm
looking.
talking about just her demeanor. Like,
Do you know what's hilarious as well? I saw a picture of my father for the first time, like in the pandemic or whatever, at some point, whenever recently, and he's ugly as fuck. So how did that ugly old man get a younger? And also, how did that ugly man make me? And also, why is my younger brother also good looking?
I don't know how you want us to answer these questions.
I'll give it a shot. Well, man had a bit of game.
He did. If only the game ended with me having a father.
Did you not know? Do you not know your dad?
No, well, this is the dark part. So like, I whole childhood, blah blah blah. Dad is an evil person, blah blah blah. Propaganda.
Can I interrupt? So
Yeah.
when you say evil, do you say this with like reflecting and there's like evil in that he left, or nuance and like, oh, they had to do.
Oh no, he was just objectively a kind of a piece of shit. He used to hit his son a lot, and then he started hitting my mom, and it was a whole bag of dick. Oh,
That's bad.
yeah, he's not a good guy, but he's also a very intelligent inventor. He came up with some shit, jet fuel oil thing.
I don't know if he
Was he the guy inventing jet fuel doesn't bells and whistles? Is that what you're gonna say?
Look, all right.
Invented that conspiracy
Your dad
theory.
invented 9/11.
Listen, all right.
That's what happened.
I like to think of him more as an architect.
He's an artist.
He's an artist. And then he was a bad dude. Mom got out of that situation as well, and yeah, she's very, the strongest person I know. A really incredible human being.
And so did you grow up in?
We're talking about dad. Yeah, I didn't know him. And then in the pandemic, I was like, fuck it. I looked at my older brother. You and I had the same bit, actually. And your bit was a little better, so I had to drop it.
Same bit.
You had a bit about your finding out the second family is ugly.
Oh yeah.
And I had the exact same joke. And you did it. I was about to come on stage and do it that night.
Yeah.
And then you did it right before me.
Oh really?
And I was like, what the fuck? We have the same bit. It was bizarre. But anyway, like I looked at my older brother and I tried to get in contact with him, but he ghosted me, which runs in the family. And then
He's his father's son.
he's his father's son, And you know what's funny is I often get high to escape myself, so it works on many levels. Anywho, so
This new studio just makes you open up, don't it?
It's the couches. It's the couches.
It's the couches.
Lean back and then fuck.
but yeah, like what's it? So I tried to get in contact with my dad, and then we started texting, and then we called. No, we texted for a while, and it was like life affirming to be in contact with my father.
Did you find similarities between them?
No, not really. He's just an old guy who fucked my mum once for a while, and then what's it called? Eventually it's just like some old guy. I was like, this isn't exciting.
Just an old black dude.
He said, and then like he said, "Oh, son, we should." I was like, "I should call you," and he's like, "Yeah, we should call." Then I kind of forgot. Sorry. AIDS. And then what's it called? Yeah, we're only getting in contact with my dad, and I wanted to call him, and I forgot. And then I was like, I'll call you again, and I forgot. And then I kind of just ghosted
Wait a
him.
minute. Do you know when you finally get a bad bitch and then she actually texted them? It's like, I'm not actually that into it. That's what you did with your dad.
Yeah. I did that with my dad. Like, a girl you've been wanting for ages, and then she lets you in, and then you're like, this is kind of fine.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Like when
You
you're
got
like,
two parents.
oh yeah, but I was talking about getting girls.
Oh, sorry. You can sit this one out.
For the last 10 minutes, I've just been thinking about it. I've just been thinking about my lovely home I'm going to go back to.
Crystal Palace games.
I'm going to go home and tell my dad I love him. Gonna lean in, I'm gonna make a cup of tea and go, night, Dad. No, I'm really no. But that's so did you grow up in Zimbabwe?
6 years, and then I came to the UK when I was like 6.5 or some shit.
So what was that like? Like in that I mean, coming to the UK is like for the first time must have been fucking.
I've never felt like an insider ever anywhere I go, no matter what happens.
Really?
I've always felt like an outsider in everything.
That's why you're a comedian.
Even in comedy, I feel like an outsider.
What was being an outsider like in Zimbabwe? What was the cause of that?
Oh no, I felt like I had an idyllic childhood. My childhood was like, do you know the story of the original Buddha?
No, of course I don't.
And you lived inside the walls.
Yeah, so Siddhartha Gautama, or whatever the fuck you say that name correctly, he was like a prince, like an Indian prince. And this was back when India was like as big as China. Well, it's kind of the same now, but like probably like, yeah, when China was still the Middle Kingdom, like India was like popping. And so this Indian prince, and the story goes, he lived an idyllic life, and his father wanted to protect his son from all bad things. Mm-hmm. So he just got his dick sucked by maids and never felt pain, didn't do a sit-up in his life, but he was like ripped and like perfect childhood. And then he went out the walls for like a bit, and he was like, oh, there's suffering. He'd never seen suffering. And then he became the Buddha because he wanted to put himself through maximal suffering to get to the deepest state of being or whatever. And then when he got to the deepest state of being, he became the Buddha. Something along those lines. I probably butchered it. But my childhood was like that. I had a very, I was a little prince. I was like fucking Xi Jinping as a baby. I had everything. I mean, my mother was part of the generation of people that went to university for the first time in Zimbabwe. Mm. And so she was a hotshot lawyer at like a big firm. And so she had like her own house at like 24 and all this shit. And like my grandparents had worked their asses off their entire lives. My mother went to private school, uncle, I went to private. It was like we were well off. And then I grew up poor in the UK.
Oh, really?
Fucked up.
So it didn't like transfers, like you don't.
Now, turns out Zimbabwean dollars got devalued over time.
A bit of me, like I always find it weird when like Western people do this. Western bit like my people, like we're never like our main thing is like we want to go to somewhere that's cheap and we measure it in how much the price of a beer is.
Yeah,
and like so like there's a whole thing where it used to be you could go to Prague. 25p.
25p a pint.
25p a pint. And it was like, yeah, but their entire economy, that's not good. That's not good. That means their entire economy's fucked.
Yeah, I went to Thailand, 15 quid a shag.
Yeah, exactly.
She cried the whole way through.
Yeah, but that's what people do. Like, you go, yeah, but that's fucked up. But no, because my knowledge on what happened in Zimbabwe isn't too good. But I mean, my knowledge on anything isn't good. So I don't know why that's going to come as a surprise to people.
Yeah, wait for the A-level philosophers. But I bet that joke's been made 50 times.
Do you know what?
Has
it
not?
Actually, genuinely the first time.
And I'm the only smug elitist cunt.
And it's taken 45 episodes for the most basic fucking thing to be done, and we haven't done it.
And it took me 10 seconds to get it as well.
I forgot the name of this podcast.
I was like, why did you say, oh, we're beat it? I forgot.
Dude, we every week we walk away and we're like, because we started this, we had whole ideas about philosophy and stuff that we were going to do.
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes. Every week you go up like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, it turns out it's a lot harder to learn about philosophy than you think. It's
quite boring as well.
It's fucking dull.
Like the actual stuff, the meat and bones.
Yeah, I used to think it would get me laid. I read a lot of Friedrich Nietzsche at university.
I thought that would get you laid.
Yeah.
The guy who inspired the Nazis.
He worked for Hitler. Yeah. Worked for Hitler.
Guys are working out in the gym.
Man are doing sit-ups. I'm like, you fucking idiots. You have no idea. I'll go up to a girl in the club. You know, humanity.
This is all an illusion, baby. You know what I mean? But no, I want to go back to your childhood actually. So because that's the thing I hear a lot of African. You know, you're in Africa, you're surrounded by black people.
Yeah.
Racism is not really much of a concept. You think of yourself as a person.
Yeah, racism doesn't exist in Africa. You're right.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
but
you're absolutely correct. Zimbabwe has never had any racial policies whatsoever.
that don't count, man.
Why is it when it happens to white people?
Why were they on the farms?
I know it is quite funny when it happens to white people.
Well, the problem, it's not because the white people were the only ones who were trained to run the farms.
Yeah.
And so we destroyed our economy by being racist.
Yeah, but
it was fucking retarded.
But that's the
and that's
fun
the
of
reason
it.
why I fuck so many white girls. It's because I'm trying to like pull out the levels.
That's
You're
like
plowing new land. The white man didn't get to.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean is when you grow up black in America, when you grow up black in Britain, you have to see yourself through two lenses, as a black man and just as a regular person.
And in Africa, they don't have that, you know, the Hutus and the Tutsis famously. Everyone.
No, but you get to just see you don't have to think of yourself as anything other as Elliot.
Yeah.
You know, as Elliot, you don't have to think walking through society as a white, maybe a bit more now, but not as much as
You do as a white guy. Like that's like kind of a myth. Like you're.
But for a long time, it wasn't a thing.
No, but it was. It's just like it changes and it ebbs and flows. Like as a white person now, like you just have to be a little bit more cool. And as a white person, sometimes what is frustrating is you can't come out and voice like, because what happens is like if too many white people get together and start voicing stuff, we end up invading Poland. Yeah. Like that's what happens. So
because you're so fucking good at shit.
Yeah, we just can't help ourselves. But sometimes it's like we were talking about the other week with a woman who got caught, who was at that, who said to the, oh, where are you really from?
Yeah.
And I was like, the whole thing, I was like, I bet like, it's one of those things where as a white person, you can't really come out and say it and go, yeah, but how did she mean it? Like, what was the, do you know, what is the context of this thing?
The context is that she's a racist old white bitch.
There is that angle
That's the context.
But there is that angle to it as well. But we like had a proper discussion going like, when it was like a thing where she turned up in like a leopard print. I was like
in a sort of traditional garb. So
wait, what?
Yeah,
she turned up to the event.
Oh, really?
Wearing traditional clothing.
Oh, that's fucking. That wasn't in the Guardian.
Because that story's first presented in a way where you're like, oh, classic old royal lady, and then when you start going into it, you go, oh, hold on a second, like I can't. But then,
because like if somebody asks me where I'm from, I'm more than happy to talk about my Nigerian culture. I'm proud of it. But at the same time, if I don't like the way someone's asking, I might shut them down and be like, yeah, I'm from Dagenham. If I feel like they're asking me just to get a bit of validity of placing me, then I might be difficult with it. But it depends, in terms of how much the tone of the asking. I wasn't there. It depends on the tone.
And that depends on what kind of a day you're having.
It depends what kind of day I'm having. Maybe I feel like claiming Dagenham a lot. Maybe I feel like claiming Nigeria. But,
Do you know what's really fucked up, by the way? I don't know if I ever said this to you. My mother lived in Dagenham for years. And I would come and visit her in Dagenham for years.
Oh, really?
And I always think, like, I would have ended up being so similar. We could have gone to the same school. We could have been, like, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if we were friends.
Ooh, that was a close one.
I'm fucking around.
but no, I get back to what you were saying about like, and as well, I probably spoke over there, but like I go through life just as Elliot English. It doesn't. There is no.
Well, especially living in. That's the whole point. You're living in your home country. You can
North African, baby. Yeah,
we're doing this.
Are you Moroccan?
Nah, Egyptian.
Egyptian?
Yeah.
You were born in Egypt?
No, granddad's from Egypt.
Granddad's from Egypt?
Yeah.
How many more relatives are from Egypt?
Oh, no, probably a few.
Okay, so granddad's from Egypt. Father born in Egypt?
Nah.
Do you speak any Egyptian? Any ties at all to Egypt?
If there's a purge against Egyptians, then I stand with my people.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck them.
Do you know what? I was having. This is a good topic for this podcast because this really fucked me up. And I won't say which comics did this annoying thing to me. So I was in Peaslake, which is like one of those satellite towns of Guildford.
Yeah.
Real just the worst people, trash, fucking garbage white people. And I say that freely, just garbage white people who don't deserve to be allowed to vote. So
You're sounding like your president.
he lives in me. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm on my... He lives in me. Anyway, so they're trash, but they're like the rich trash. They're the kind of people where oligarchic wealth, where it's like they made one good call in the 90s and they've deluded themselves into thinking they're intelligent. That kind of stupid. And like a bunch of trophy wives and idiot men and trophy husbands and idiot wives, and the trophy husbands are being cheated on with pool boys, kind of an idiot class of trash humans. So as MC goes on, I won't say he's bad at comedy, and he goes on, he starts, like the most homophobic, transphobic, just weak, bad comedy. It's like shitty Patrice, just bad Patrice O'Neill. And he's one of those, he does this thing, I've noticed Northern comics have taken it from American comics, where they'll go, Matt, I fucking love what that is, insert group here. I fucking love what you guys do. Like, it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant that you do this and you do that, and like, for your rights. And then when the punchline will end with saying tranny, or like lezo. He said lezo and tranny within like a 5-minute spot. Space. He did 35 minutes.
That is a trope,
he did 35 minutes at the top.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
He did 35 minutes at the top. His closing bits, this was his like home run, Barry Bonds. His closing bit was like, women are like a meal.
You're about to reveal the comic if you give away his closing.
I don't care. I hope his career falls apart.
I'm all for this. I love this.
His bit is like, women are our burgers, and we just want the burgers, and all the problems are the chips. We didn't want the chips or whatever. This guy did 35 minutes of this shit.
Was he emceeing?
He was emceeing, and then I had to do 15. Bro, and by the way, I had a really important industry drinks that I was like, it was like, they rented out there's a BBC whatever thing, and they rented out we had an open bar, open food, important people were there, and I was like, it's Guildford, so I can double the two.
Yeah.
And the guy just overran like a lunatic.
Yeah.
Is this at G Live?
Yeah, no, it's not G Live. Right. This is not G Live. Off the Curb would never book someone of this caliber. So anyway, what's it called? Anyway, so I want to say this to say I go on, and obviously they're hating it because I'm trying to do comedy that's good, and I am getting them eventually. I'm getting them, and I gesture, hey, I'm an immigrant. Any immigrants in? Obviously no, and there's a laugh, and then a woman in the most English voice, she goes, I'm an immigrant. I am an immigrant. And I'm like, okay, what are you? And she's like, I am Irish. And I was like, that doesn't count. And then she was like, don't even go there. And she didn't say don't go there.
Yeah. Don't even.
She went, don't go there. I was like, this is going to ruin the gig if I talk to this person anymore.
Yeah.
And then after the show, she runs out. I just sprint through the kitchen to my taxi. She runs out. White woman throws herself in front of a moving vehicle to stop. She's like, stop the car. I have to talk to that man. I need to talk to that man. And she's trying to open the door of a moving vehicle. Taxi driver's Indian. I'm yelling at him, don't hurt her. Don't hurt her or we're both going to jail. I said that out loud. And like, eventually I was able to slam the door in a way that didn't hurt her fingers.
Yeah.
And like, we start peeling away and I pull up the thing and I save his number. I save the taxi driver's number as taxi driver crazy white woman. So like if I
ever need him,
and I texted my agent, I texted multiple people in my agency and my closest friends with an exact same accounting of the story to make sure nothing happened to me.
Yeah. Crazy. It's
fucking horrible. But I say all that to say, I tell this story to a comic over the weekend, different comic, and they're Irish, and they were like, yeah, no, we are immigrants. And I feel like Irish people are immigrants on a technicality, and they have to get over it. Because genuinely, if you are a young Irish person and you didn't live through the Troubles, and you weren't socially conscious through the racism that they got from English people, because my girlfriend was explaining to me, she's Scottish, she was like, Irish people look at themselves, they feel like English people look at them as terrorists.
Not anymore. We couldn't give a
Not
fuck.
anymore.
No one gives a fuck.
No one gives a fuck. And there's this white victimhood that
But the
Irish
Irish
people
did
have.
get fucked over, like the black and tans, like all of that went on down there. Like there was like groups sent into Ireland, like to massacre villages that were the British Army. Like the British Army were ruthless. The potato famine. The fact that, like, if you go to Belfast is actually built in a way so it can be shut down quickly by the police. Like that's why the architecture there is fucking weird. Like the Catholic Protestant divide there as well.
Crazy.
It is. They did get fucked over.
The way I feel hearing about Irish people complaining about, by the way, I
love that you're just doubling down.
I can't stress this enough. It's a white English-speaking person moving from a white English-speaking country to a white. Catherine Ryan has a great. My girl was talking about. Catherine Ryan has a great bit about like someone at work was going about, oh, these immigrants are coming over and taking our jobs, and then Catherine goes, but I'm an immigrant, and they're like, you don't count. It's that kind of a thing. Brexit didn't happen to keep white people out. Well, it did, but like not English-speaking white people.
This is the thing with white people is like, and where black people I think get it wrong sometimes is you view white as like just
a monolith. But there's levels to this shit.
There's levels. There's like Scottish white, and then even in Scotland you got like secretary. You got Protestant, Catholic. That just comes out my white. I'm Jew white. So then you got like loads of different kinds of like white, where even like the Polish, they're not all white. Like it's just like
the point I was the feeling I think I had. I'm so sorry. The feeling I think I had was when I hear white minorities complaining about their shit on stage or making a fuss
it's an
of
angle.
it, I feel the same way that I feel when I hear black people on stage going, white people are evil.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like it's like, why are you trying so hard to be interesting instead of being interesting?
No, I totally agree with that. I think there's nothing like what I see a lot. Like one thing that bothers me is when I watch a hack comedian who's black or something kill because every joke is like
white people suck,
and the audience have to sit there and clap because then I'm going, you don't find this funny. You're scared of being accused of being racist. If you actually look at what I've said there, that's a really dumb fucking joke, and then you're all afraid to go like it's like I always say, like how many people like you see at like clubs like Top Secret and this, that, and the other, like how many of these people who call themselves liberal and progressive actually have black friends or actually have or actually hang out with people with different fucking opinions to them even. And they then go out, and I think there's this thing that happens now, especially within crowds and within comedy, where people feel they have to be liberal a certain way, or we see it within like a lot of the groups in comedy, like everyone's bisexual. For bisexuals, they sure fuck a lot of the opposite gender. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing. Well, it's a sad thing with comedy right now that it's in probably its largest boom, and I think it'll most likely have a contraction. But like because we all grew up watching so much of it, so many people who are just not interesting enough to become good. Or B, have had too good a life to become good.
Do you think you have to be interesting to be good?
I think you do. I think you even look at like a Josh Widdicombe, who's a great example of a person who does fairly bankable, dependable, normal quote unquote material. He's a great example of that. He's a weird guy. Fuck out with him. He's comics are strange.
Yeah, and I always think like,
and he's not like a bad weird. He's just like you're a comedian.
You
identify a comedian in a crowd.
And you can like hanging out with him. He's not going to answer the post. He's fucking everything. like just that shit that comics do. Do you know what I mean? Like like he's gonna fuck things up like throughout the day. But he's also like a good. Like I remember, like when I first started and was watching Josh, I was like, I thought him like again, like Sean Walsh is the most comedic person I've ever met.
Yeah,
in
bizarre.
terms of like he is a comedian. Like he cannot get on a train. Like he just can't do anything without there being a massive ordeal.
Yeah, his life is a sequence of shit.
Yeah,
Just shit happening.
But I don't know if like because there's people I know like who aren't. I wouldn't think are necessarily interesting people, but are still decent stand-ups. I think that's a very achievable thing, and I think you're also at this stage where like how long have you been going?
4 years.
4 years, yeah. So you're at like blue belt stage of comedy, which is
belt, yes.
weird stage where like I remember I found when I was 4 or 5 years in was the most frustrating part because I wasn't quite getting to the next level to the big gigs, but I was too good to go back to the start. So I didn't know where to get better. Yeah. Like I wasn't like getting the stage set, like, and sometimes I'd feel like I'd get shown like, I'd go do the Comedy Store or something and I'd go, probably in my heart of hearts, I know I might not be good enough to play here yet. Yeah. Or I've got a good 15 minutes, but I got to hope the audience are nice.
Yeah,
like,
well, it's the feeling I have is, and I think it goes back to Chappelle's thing where he's like, gotta learn them nigga lessons.
I said it. Yeah,
you said that. Yeah, yeah. You I don't know, man.
I live my life.
You're kind of used to being disrespected, or not thought of as intelligent as you are.
As a black comic?
As a black person,
right? Okay.
Not even just black comics. So it's just like, I feel more okay doing open mics than I probably should. I feel if I gotta fill the diary, I'll do shit gigs.
100%.
Because there's a certain minimum, especially right now, because I'm not working right now. I'm just kind of doing comedy full time.
Yeah.
Quotes. Had 2 wanks today. But like,
I'm on 5. Yeah. I got in at 8 this morning, and I want to come down. You know what? Monday. I'm like, and I've complained that I've had to come into a place and hang out with mates.
Yeah. Do you know what's terrible about like I'm having like a 15-year-old's lifestyle right now,
right? Yeah,
because I had the period where I was doing the show, like working on the show relentlessly, and going, waking up 9:30, going to the gym, finish, write 4 hours, go sleep, do gigs to work material, just non-stop for like a couple months, and then I got paid in weed by a comedian. And that by a promoter, he just paid me in weed, and that was the end of that.
But that's not just you, like everyone else got money.
No, that would feel very.
Because they used to get kids, they could see a family.
but that's interesting you're saying like the writing and stuff, because I know like when we talk about writing and things like that, like I find. Like actually one of the philosophies I sort of live with my life is like, I try not to put any pressure on that stuff, as in go,
really?
I don't need to do this amount of writing today or this and this. I don't put any pressure on myself to do that. But sometimes I go like, and this can go for anything, like, and I think writing's this weird thing where I feel like it's not that less is more, because it depends what you're working on. If you're working on a show, it's a different thing. But if you're trying to write a bit, sometimes it's like, man, you're going to do a bit for 2 years, and one night you'll do it slightly different, and then it will become a bigger bit. And like that, sitting there and really drawing something out, I think can be a bit. Sitting there for 4 hours, I'm not going to remember 4 hours worth of stuff. Like,
yeah, the way I used to say it, I used to. I probably shouldn't say that word on this. I would defile the corpse of what the joke used to be.
Right, okay.
I would obliterate jokes to a point where I didn't find them funny anymore, or remember why I found them funny in the first place. But I found a happy medium. I think 3.5 hours is around about perfection for me. To like, I can just stay in the zone for that long.
But is that like?
But that's because I've been a software engineer since I was 20.
Okay, right.
And I've been coding since I was 17. and I've been writing jokes since I was.
So you take what you've learned from those things and then apply.
Yeah, well,
into...
I've been working, I've been working 50-hour weeks,
right,
for like a half a decade.
So that's interesting because I came into comedy, I didn't have like any fucking work ethic because I just started when I was like 16 and got picked up quite quickly because I got a dad. Yeah, that wasn't a slam on you guys. He's just famous.
Damn.
But that like my work ethic wasn't there, so I'm always like quite envious of and it sounds weird of when you go, oh, someone had like a really cool, you worked all you like, and again I imagine it comes from that like that immigrant mentality of coming to a new country of like going, I used to see at school like the immigrant kids worked. Like it was, you are going to school. Like I went to school to fuck around. Yeah. Because I was privileged with it. But a lot of the other kids were like, no, I'm here to go to university.
But if you were coming back home to the belt, it might have been a different story.
Well, that was the awful thing is that that's what should have happened to me. I should have been hit. I grew up my grandparents though, so I grew up being spoiled.
Right, okay.
So I didn't have any work. Fuck me, I'm sorry about that. The lights. I didn't have any work ethic till I was like 16.
Right.
And I failed my lower sixth. I got like 2 B's and 2 C's and shit. And so like that was the turning point where I was like, because I kind of got A's without revising.
Yeah.
Until even at GCSE, I didn't revise and I got A's. And then like A levels, that step up.
A level, I remember going to A level thinking I could coast, and I remember very quickly being fuck
me. Yeah, fuck me.
Do you have a strong work ethic? Do you reckon, Mike?
Not really, but I'm always kind of self-critical in that regards. I mean, when you look at
so you just feel bad about yourself and never change anything.
Yeah. But when you look at you sum up a year, I'll be like, I did a lot this year.
Yeah.
But could have done more, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then that's why. I'm quite nice to myself. I look at over the course of a year, I am improving. That's why I try not to see it as a leaderboard or. Like I said last time on the pod, you can't look at the scoreboard, which is like you can't compare yourself to other people. You can't even look at your own achievements. You're just trying to. Do I feel like I'm better than I was last year? That's the only parameter of success. I think that's healthy.
Who's your favorite rapper?
My favorite rapper,
or rather, who's your role model that you model your behavior on?
You're assuming it's a rapper.
Could you imagine if I
you said that?
Who's your father?
Where do you turn to when you have nowhere to go?
This is the thing. This is one of the good things about growing up without a dad. You can just pick a father.
Yeah, that's true.
You can just pick a model of like.
Do you know what's fucked up? I had a music teacher at school that I was begging to fuck my mum. I desperately wanted this guy to be my stepdad.
So do you go to therapy?
I have stopped.
You well, let's in the new year. Let's pick that up again.
Yeah, but who's your role model? Would you say?
I like Kendrick Lamar. I like him. I've kind of gone off the whole role model thing. I just don't know what people are doing anymore.
Yeah, you don't know.
I cried yesterday at Messi winning a World Cup.
Yeah,
like I actually cried.
Was he your role model?
No, I don't. I didn't. I don't even like the little cunt. But it was so. It meant like it was so like much. Yeah, I'm never gonna see. This is the greatest thing in like the biggest, one of the most watched sports. For him to complete the set, for it to now be definitive.
We've seen a career from start to finish. I think that's big.
Crazy.
People talk about Maradona and Pele. We got to see our own version of start to finish.
And arguably better, undebatably better.
Yeah, that's the other thing because I remember being like 12 years old and Messi, like, and then it is also it's weird. It is like this thing that reminds you of your own death almost because you go, oh my god, he's now. Basically finished. He's going to retire in the next few years.
Yeah.
And like you said that and you go, this is what getting older is.
Yeah.
Like you just watch things start and fade and die.
I think there's a thing of football fans though, because we've been watching football so long, we think that late 30s is old.
Yeah.
But then it's still like...
You're still 35.
You're still 35. Like in the actual spectrum of life.
He's a very young man.
You're in your prime.
Yeah.
If you can play a World Cup final, you're a very young man. You're a very young man.
But yeah, that I'm watching that yesterday and like my girlfriend's mates not understanding any of the stuff going on, which was great. Like I did.
Speaking of which, by the way, Michael, you don't have a girlfriend at all, do you?
I don't actually.
Come on, continue.
Okay.
Anyone got Amazon special?
Yeah. Hug that at night.
My friends just show me pictures of their kids. I just show the pictures of my Netflix.
I don't like the way he held up the Sprite there, like it was some cognac, like it was like whiskey or something. And he was
Fuck y'all motherfuckers. Any of y'all got an Amazon special? Suck my dick.
The OT.
I ain't got no role models.
Oh yeah, how was it? We haven't spoke about it on this podcast, but we spoke about it on with Ali on the B Tech crossover.
Oh yeah, O2 is
That's enough of that.
Yeah.
The-
That's all I need to say. The O2.
Oh God,
but yeah, man, like
that's crazy though.
but it's so weird, like watching like how we're messing like the country going into meltdown, Piers Morgan and people like that screaming about Ronaldo, and then like, man, did you guys see that Jeremy Clarkson tweet?
Which
That,
one?
the
The
Jeremy Clarkson article.
The Meghan Markle one.
It's so funny because when he said that, I was like, that's a Game of Thrones reference and it's a joke, but you've worded this appallingly.
Yeah.
Like you've tried to be funny here.
Yeah.
What did he say? He said, I wanted to walk through the town naked and people throw excrement.
Well,
Shame.
That's from Game of Thrones. They do that to the Princess Cersei, to Queen Cersei.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like it's a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah, but it's not a good one. It's not,
No.
no. It's from Game of Thrones. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. In that harrowing scene.
Yeah.
Like
You're
no,
saying there's a way to word that where everyone's like, oh, that's all right.
no, I'm gonna defend like the thing of like a joke written down.
I don't think that shit was a joke. I think he's straight because he doubles down. He goes like,
Oh, no, he's
he
apologised.
says a lot of people my age feel the same way.
He said, I hate her. I hate her with gritted teeth. I want her to walk through the town naked. There's no like, oh, he attempted a joke. He said at his intention at the beginning.
Yeah,
is
no.
hatred.
all right.
Do you know what's funny about
all right, I'm gonna all right, 1-0. Fair point. I just because like I just was there on my thing. I was like, I don't really give a fuck what Jeremy. I have this weird thing where it's the same. It's the same. Like Clarkson has that same thing as like an Andrew Tate or anyone like that. Is they're obviously like a cunt person, but you'd tell there'd be a laugh. Like you could see that there'd be
that's
like
the
fun to get a pint with, and that's this country's biggest problem is someone who's fun to get a pint with then ends up in charge.
Yeah, I think there's a certain face, a certain gammony fucking face that you have that I think one of the big problems in this country is that so many English people are ugly. They're so ugly. They're so unappealing. Like genuinely fucking disgusting munters of a disgusting country.
Why have you got to go for the English and the Irish?
My girlfriend is Scottish because that's, as far away from this disgusting. I mean, have you ever seen?
Could get further.
Have you ever been on a night out?
Get there without a passport.
Genuinely, like
you haven't even gone off the island.
the only place where attractive people are in this country are London and everywhere that's not England.
I will say this
So ugly.
about England. London, I've listened to comments. I know, like I go, London is like people are hot, like
Baddies.
people are classy hot as well, like But yeah, you venture out, but it's I don't know
because a lot of
northern girls when they glam up on nights out, man, they
That's
can
the
be
problem.
stunning.
That's the problem. Is like northern girls. If you fuck that sentence. Nah. for real, like that. You go English people are ugly. That's funny. Where you go, no, the problem with northern women.
I'm not regional.
We've just been nominated for an award, and we're about to lose to a northern. we're about to lose to all of the northwest scene.
I think you were making a point on racism before you got into the.
Was I?
Before you?
Oh yeah, no.
English people ugly.
So English people are so disgusting. Like there's a certain face that is just like accepted, and it's just I don't know. There's a certain acceptedness that Wayne Rooney face is just such like a thing where it's like, oh, he's one of us.
Jeremy Clarkson and Piers Morgan, they have the same skull shape, and I feel like that talks a lot to their hatred.
Well, I'm not getting involved in none of
And
this.
skull shape.
Skull shapes.
I don't think I can get involved in this.
You watch Django and
Bro, you know what I mean? Like, exactly, bro. I'm
Did you
staying
know
out
that
of this.
if you smack an
Hey,
English
hey.
skull with a hammer, you can.
Gravy comes out.
Hey, you lads have at it for the last 10 minutes of the podcast. I'm just going to go read a book.
No, but let's
Read
get.
it. But you had us. You had us.
No, but let's get into the juice.
The whole point of this podcast.
But that, I think that weird obsession comes from ultimately they are very attracted to Meghan, and then they just don't know how to deal with it.
Deal with that.
And there's an odd thing about they love the royal family as well. They do have that.
They fucking hack their phones, but they don't love them.
No, but it's like there's people I don't get it.
They cry at the weddings.
Yeah, I couldn't give a like. Here's my thing. I don't really give a fuck about Meghan or Harry. Nor do I give a fuck about the royal family. I'm not gonna. I think the way they've been treated's bad, but also at the same time, I want to go. Like, what did you think you were marrying into?
Exactly.
What? You turn up to the royal family, and you couldn't get your own way. Yeah, because it's a fucking job. They're like they are public figures who don't get to choose their own way. The Queen, what was an opinion of the Queen? Do you know that's how good at her job she was? She never. No one knew what the fuck she thought.
She thought taxi drivers are great in Paris.
Yeah. she just turned up and did her service and her duty.
That variation of joke never gets old, does it?
What? Diana's dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
it's a classic.
I mean, Lady Di, it's in the name. Like,
it's up there. That Madeleine McCann.
Yeah.
Like this country, a child went missing, and this country has just decided it's the funniest thing that has ever happened. A child.
no, it wasn't just that. It was that it's all about timing. That and Wikipedia at the same time. It was over. Wikipedia made Madeleine McCann funny because the best jokes were there.
You can't make a Madeleine McCann joke. I think not.
I have a good new one.
Because people have grown. Your Madeleine McCann joke.
I have a Madeleine McCann sketch and it's fantastic.
Do you want to tell it?
Sure. This is a good litmus test of whether or not it should go out because I've recorded all of it. But like my flatmate,
What, a sketch?
Yeah, my flatmate.
Touch my hand.
So my flatmate put.
I'm not ready.
My flatmate put his hand on me. He's like the loveliest man I know. He's a Christian, like a good man. He's going to a homeless
What do
shelter.
you mean he's a Christian? He's a good. Oh, no one bad was ever called.
We'll get into it. Anyway, let's finish the bit.
So he goes like, he helped me record it. He was like, Tad, and I was about to leave the house. I know comedy is like, it can be dark, and like, I love the dark stuff, but like, I've been thinking about this all night, and it doesn't sit well with my spirit. Those words, and he was like, you could still use the footage, but just don't have my voice in it. And I was like, I can't put this out now.
Yeah.
But the sketch is like, it's about going. When you lose stuff in winter, so like you go in the house one day and you have a gloves, hat and a coat on, and then the next day you lose a hat, and the next day you lose the scarf, the gloves. Like, shit, I hate winter. The next day you leave in the house, the neighbor was like, hey, Mr. McCann, you're going out in just that. He's like, yeah, I've lost everything else.
No, that's funny.
That's funny. That's great.
No, you can put that out.
I can put that out. I'm going to put it out tomorrow.
You can put that out. I would wait for her to pop up back in the news.
No.
Like she does every 9 months.
What do you like?
No.
What's pop back in the news?
She said that with a wink and a nod. Just wait for her to pop back up.
Oh
in the
my
news.
God.
Like,
Oh my God. Imagine you sit on it and then she returns and you're like, oh fuck, that's my sketch. My sketch is fucked.
no, it's fine. Just put it on your story.
Fucking hell.
Repost.
But I mean, God bless her. Wonder what she's up to now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, parenthood is long, but
but that whole
Yeah,
like,
because the country went from to they definitely did it.
yeah.
And I don't know why we think that.
because you probably haven't said they did a thing where they got, I think, potentially fucked over. They got interviewed by the police.
Yeah.
And when you go, if you go get interviewed by the police, the first thing you do is lawyer up.
Yeah.
They lawyered up.
Yeah.
And if you go, the first thing your lawyer usually says to you is go, I'm not going to answer that question, or my lawyers advised me not to answer that question.
Yeah.
So they did an entire interview doing that because that's what you do in that situation. And I think that then made everyone go like, well, why aren't you going? No, we did this, this and this. But a lawyer would go, you don't fucking tell them anything. Like, you don't give anyone anything.
Because they had left her there to go have dinner. Which
it's shitty parenting.
Well,
but like, it's not
shitty decisions.
But it's not like, people do shit like that. Do you know what I mean? And fucking, you're on holiday. You want a bit of tapas.
Yeah. And the kids' menu is so bad.
It is, and you know.
Speaking of tapas,
seat, you've got a spare seat to put your feet up on the flight home. It's not all bad. Like, you know, you can stretch out a little bit.
I mean, think of a kid costs 250k. I bet by that first 50k, they were like, "Fam, let's cut our losses." Like, for real.
But you're saying that by the age of 18, a kid costs 250k.
250 grand, yeah.
That's not even
Average kid.
Not even that
That's
bad.
not that bad.
By 18. What's
By
that? What's that
18?
break down to a year?
That's over.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to.
That's
do this.
over like 10k a year. It's like 12, probably
That's
12ish
about
a year.
what you would think, no?
Raising a child. It's fucking. My sister's like.
That's a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
In itself, yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of wages, I did want to talk about the strikes.
Oh, I was gonna.
Are you pro or against strikes?
Here's how I feel about these fucking strikes.
I meant that as a joke. I thought you actually having a struggle.
Okay.
What's your? Because I think it is like
It's annoying as fuck. And
more complex than like some of it is.
Here's the problem with the strikes, and you. So the problem with inflation, speaking as a Zimbabwean, the problem with inflation is you really can't put a lid on it. The only tool that's been figured out by central banks to combat inflation so far has been interest rates, and that's by the smartest people in the fucking world.
Right.
So like, you put interest rates hiked up to a motherfuck, hoping to get it down. But once it gets even slightly out of control, it's out of fucking control, and it destroys your economy quickly. Like Germany in the 30s
Yeah, the Weimar
got
Republic.
bad fast, very fast. And it doesn't take that much for a currency to completely devalue. And it's not even the devaluation of the currency that you can't buy shit and everything's just more expensive. It's that like now the country can't even import shit because 100 million Prussian francs to the dollar. How are you going to buy a can of soup to give to your people? So all imports are fucked. That's probably part of the, not to get in a Kanye moment, but like that's why Hitler was like so big on like agriculture.
Find the pause button.
Anyway, this is me.
No, but like genuinely, from an economic standpoint, that's what saves Germany was like, okay, we can't import, so we're going to work on our domestic.
And as well, like they had with the Germans because they were doing the 5-year plan from America, and once they got told like you're fucked, but yeah, they also did a lot of slavery, like with the trade union and like that, and that helped your economy.
The problem with increasing wages right now is if you increase the wages, if I'm selling Sprite, I'll go, oh shit, people have a little extra dough. I might charge a little extra more for the Sprite. And then, oh fuck, now Sprite costs a little more. We can't afford it. Increase wages again. Oh fuck, I might get a little extra dollar. So if you increase wages now, you can start a wage price spiral that will be so inflationary, it'll fuck. And it's the same.
But the cost of living is still going up regardless. That's the thing with it.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I saw a thing the other day, like actually like technology and stuff like that. Like a phone, like you could get a good iPhone. You can go get an iPhone for 500 quid. You can go get a TV for 100 quid.
You can get it for free if you're smart enough.
Yeah. You can do all of the things that you usually, when I was growing up, those were the things that were considered luxury items are expensive. I know the things that have gone up is food, gas, and that's keeping on going up. So I see what you're saying, but I think with things like strikes, it's going when you go the rail company, and I've not heard anyone put it as eloquently as you've done there of like, no, this is a bit more complicated sometimes than just the evil capitalist.
By the way, I'm pro raising the wages of these strikers. The issue is that we can't raise them now. We should have raised them 5 years ago.
Right.
It should have been all the wages should have been kept up with inflation.
But this is the thing, like where I don't know what's going to happen with it all, but it's going to fuck all will happen because this is what this country's like, and we'll just go wow, and we'll just get on with it because that's what we do. But I think what it is with the strikes is like the train service is terrible. Like my girlfriend works in the NHS, and she's like,
NHS is terrible.
Yeah, she's like, it's shit. She's going, the NHS is shit. She's like, and it's not because the people who work for it are shit.
No.
It's an underfunded resource.
It's not. It goes on a deeper level. Like, say, like, you get ill, but you can't get to hospital. Okay, why can't I get a seat in the hospital? Because all the beds are taken up. Why are the beds taken up? Because the social care. Okay, you are ill, you've been cured, but you're not good enough to just go back to work. We have to put you somewhere. Where do we put you? That's clogged up. So it's clogged like 5 toilets full of shit in a row. That's how bad the NHS is.
Yeah, I think the NHS is, what they're really good at in the NHS is they're very good at reactionary stuff. So if you go in with a broken leg, we will fix your broken leg. Well, I think one of the things we have in this country that we're bad at is we're not good at like lifestyle. So going like, okay, well, how can we avoid certain people getting cancer? How can we can treat cancer, but but how can we stop people? And that's a look at diet, smoking, lifestyle, and things like that. And in this country, we just don't. It's a Western.
All comes back to the fact that English people are so fucking ugly and fat, and they smoke with their disgusting teeth. They're disgusting people.
Interesting question. You know, New Zealand. I'm saying this interesting question before I've asked it. New Zealand, they've banned smoking from 2050. So
They're a fucking disgrace.
whoa, we just talked about lifestyle.
No, but it's my freedom. I should be allowed to do heroin.
Yes.
Like it's my body.
And a
I
prohibition,
can do what I want.
prohibition won't.
But smoking is so insidious that your smoking affects the people in the room next to you.
Oh well, fucking. So does
It's-
people's
it's-
driving. Like
The smoking would never be legalized now. Like tobacco, it would never.
Prohibition will never work and has never worked in any of its forms.
yeah, it's just.
It's just not how we can control.
But it's
population.
it's setting a lifestyle change. So
But it's not changing. People just then smuggle in cigarettes from elsewhere. Like that's just what will happen.
what will
You've not stopped any. It's like banning abortion. It's like I totally get the argument where people are like, I actually think you're killing a baby. I can actually kind of understand that. But at the same time, like, one, who gives a fuck? Two, like, it's gonna happen.
You should kill the baby.
And you should kill the baby.
but they've banned it for the future generation. So it's like by the time the future generation get to smoking age, they'll be like, it's not even in their minds anymore.
In their consciousness, that is an interesting because how we don't smoke indoors and you don't even, it's unconscionable to smoke indoors. However, one thing they won't be able to ban is movies with smoking in it. They won't be able to ban the
Won't be able
internet.
to ban Mad Men.
They won't be able to ban the internet, which shows pictures of people smoking in every other fucking country in the world except for New Zealand.
And
you reckon
also, like, one of life's great joys. Have you ever gone to Paris or something? You got a coffee, you bought some cigarettes, you're outside, it's a nice day, you're having a fucking cigarette and a coffee.
No, I don't
To
pollute my
just
body.
look at the art. I don't go to have a smoke somewhere else. Not Croydon. What the fuck?
You're not even going to Amsterdam for weed. You're going to smoke a cigarette.
You get the Eurostar straight back after you have that cigarette.
Sure is. It does feel different. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Walk straight by the Eiffel Tower. Don't even look up.
Why are you here, sir? Business. Tell you about it. This has been a fucking pleasure having you on. This has
Thank
been one of
you.
my favorite episodes we've done, man.
I'm glad.
Very,
this is the best one.
Yeah, it's up there. Like this is
We were saying that Luke Craig was probably the number one, but this is probably.
Yeah, Luke is
up there.
crazy. So
Yeah,
of
but
course he's
Luke-
going to have the best fucking
He
one.
got stabbed in the neck.
Yeah,
he did get
it's
stuck in
fucking
the neck.
amazing.
We also had like
He fought Mugabe, so.
we had Ginger J and Dom and people like that as well.
You're definitely top 3 comedian guests we had.
Yeah, you're in
I'd
the
say
top 2.
Top 2.
I'll put you in the top comic guests we've had. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
I'd have to re-listen, but I think you're top 2 right now, just on memory.
Very,
And
very.
we did an entire podcast without me talking about the flashlight once, without me doing any plugs for the partnership.
Why don't you have to mention that? Because I only bought one because you bought
I
one.
know. I got him to buy one, and it made me so happy. It made me so
come on,
happy.
you can't
Do you know what I got?
recommend
Do you know what I got
flashlights
Travis
to
for his
each other.
birthday? Travis is very, very single right now. He's going for it. And we had people over, like a lot of people over for his birthday party, and I was the only one that got him gifts. I got him like some shit for his guitar because he's learning again, and I bought him just a big industrial bottle of lube. And the greatest
Great gift. That's actually great.
the greatest satisfaction I've had in life, he's not fucked anyone since his birthday. The greatest satisfaction I've had is going past his room and seeing it half empty.
I spilled it.
I was just rolling on the floor like a salmon.
Tad, anything you want to promote before we head off?
Yes, I do. I do want to promote. When's this going out?
This will be out on Thursday. We should get a
Oh,
picture.
really?
I
That's
think
wonderful.
just to explain to people, listen, we're doing it in a different studio this week because of all the stuff. So it might be out a day or two later. So if it is, I apologise because.
Okay, listeners in London, on January 2023, from the 28th of January through the 30th of January, I'm doing the Vault Festival.
Oh, class.
Sorry, from the 27th, Friday the 27th, 28th, and 29th, doing Vault Festival.
What's your Insta?
That is at Waterloo in London. The Vault Festival's in Waterloo in London, 27th, 28th, 29th. I'm really good at comedy. And my Insta is Tadiwa Mahlunge. It's going to be the same spelling as the name that you see on the episode. And in February, on the 19th, Sunday the 19th, if you're in Leicester, I'm doing the Leicester Comedy Festival.
It's a great festival. I'm there on the 8th if anyone's interested.
And finally, if you live in Glasgow, away from all these disgusting English cunts, I will be doing the Glasgow Comedy Festival.
I didn't even know that was a festival. Fucking hell.
Yeah. I'm trying to fill up. Yeah, March the 21st and 22nd.
Wonderful. I'll be at I'll be doing Vault Festival at some point. you fucks know what I'm like. I'll be at Leicester on the 8th of February, and then I will be doing Vault Festival on the 23rd of February. So, and tickets are selling really well. If this comes out, if you're listening to this on a Thursday, I'll be at Angel Comedy that night. And I'll also be on Top Secret on the 29th of this month. Tickets to come for a new show that I am doing.
I actually don't think we've mentioned on the main, but we've been nominated. BTEC Philosophers.
Holy fuck, we completely forgot.
They've been nominated for a Channel 4 thing.
Yes, along with every other podcast in the country.
With everyone?
Don't say that. Just get the point out first. Before you self-deprecate. Fucking hell. We've been nominated.
You want this award so bad.
I want to be shortlisted. Fucking hell.
I know, we want to go to the thing.
We want to be nominated for National Comedy Awards, Best Podcast. So if you enjoy our shit on both our socials, we have the link there.
Vote for us.
Vote for us.
Fuck have a word.
Okay.
They've got too much.
Yeah.
They've got it all. We need something.
They are like 83% of the economy of Manchester and Liverpool.
Yeah, they are unbelievable. They've got their own studio. We're like a roaming podcast.
For real, when I was given the location of this, I thought he was trying to kill me. I thought Michael was trying to kill me.
Come to you.
And as I was walking in, it didn't get any better.
No.
That's the studio we're in.
Because there's no address, just coordinates.
I was like, bruh, like fucking just ice me when I live. Don't make me go to my murder.
Did you think we were going to pesher you in like a Goodfellas?
I thought, yeah.
You thought there's going to be a podcast studio and there's just a bit, shit. But yes, vote for us in the Channel 4 Comedy Awards. We want to go to the Channel 4 event and watch all the Channel 4 things happen.
We're going to leave now because it's 90p per second.
We are going to run over. But you guys, this has been BTEC Philosophers. Follow Tadiwa. Thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas.
See Kyle.